I was recently asked about my financial plans. Now, I've done a lot of thinking over the years, and I've come up with a fundamental principle, which is your financial stability, or your money, your savings, whatever you want to call it. It's your in plus your out. Because you can never predict what's going to happen in life. For example, your employee may go bankrupt, have legal issues, and not have the money to pay you the paycheck that you have already worked for. So just because you have a full-time job doesn't mean you're always going to have a secure payment, something coming in. You can never predict that. And therefore, not only is the main focus, or what our main focus should be for our financial situation, that it's not a sum, it's not a savings, or it's an equation of in and out. In minus out equals. So that should be our mindset for our financial situation. It's not a sum, it's an equation. And not only this, because we can't predict the external world, the in part of the equation is the part we can never predict, and it's always fluctuating. It's out of our control. But the out part of the equation is the part which is always in our control, no matter the situation. Doesn't matter what happens in the external world, you as an individual decide where you will spend your resources. And this is why, instead of having a lot of focus, as most people are educated to do so through our education systems, on making more money and how to make more money and have more coming in, I've always understood that ultimately you should see all income or all coming in as a gamble. That's all gambling. Like I said, you can't predict what's going to happen. In some things, like having full-time work, you definitely have really good odds that you will get that win, that income. But again, there's always the chance, because it's ultimately just a gamble. Even having a full-time job is gambling, the same as putting money into the pokie machine. Except instead of putting money in with very bad odds into a machine at some venue, you're putting in your resources, your own energy, the work that you do at some job, for the really good odds of receiving an income for that you put in. But ultimately, it's just gambling. There's no difference between having a full-time job or putting money into a poker machine, besides the type of resource that you're spending and the odds of the gamble. Okay, that's the difference. But it's a gamble either way. So all in is a gamble. So focus should be on what you control, understanding that in is a gamble. So you don't really need to learn about how to make more money, and you just got to learn how to know how to gamble. Be a good gambler and look for good, risk opportunity, and make those big wins. That's what income should be. That's how your mind state should be when it comes to income. But for out, okay, you should be a minimalist, essentially. Live on the bare essentials. So, for example, in my situation, and what's going to be an extreme benefit, and the main reason why I will be able to save so fast compared to the average person, isn't because of how much money I'll be coming in, that will be coming in. I can just have an average wage like any other person, but I'll be able to save way faster, and in a short amount of time, a short period of years of working, I'll be able to have more money, more assets, more savings than the vast majority of people on the planet. More money to my name than the vast majority of people on the planet after only a few years of work. Again, not because of I'm making a lot of money, I can do it on an average wage, but because I'm not spending a lot of money, which is what I control. all of the time. Okay. In my situation, or in Australia, the average person who saves, to begin, 20% of Australians don't save at all. 80% of Australians, roughly, do save. And on average, those 80% of Australians who do save 10% of their income. Only the top 1% of Australians who save over 60% or more of their income. Okay, so 1%, 1 out of 100 people in Australia saves 60% or more of their total income. But in my situation, I'm able to, if I am working just an average job with average wage, I'm able to save 91% of my income. So again, 20% of Australians don't save at all. 80% who do, on average, save 10%. But myself, in my situation, because of my focus and my understanding, my mentality when it comes to finances, I'm able to save 91% of my income on an average wage, compared to the average Australian saving 10%. And then spending 90%, I'm only spending 10% and then saving 90%. So that's the key. Again, in my own situation, this is my formula. There's going to be different ways, obviously, for everybody, but having this general understanding and then applying it to how you want to work or make money in your life, the projects you want to work on, businesses you might want to pursue, etc. If you apply this mentality, it will help you regardless, in whatever financial situation you find yourself in, because these are the facts of the matter when you break it down to the barest of the bones. This is what it is at the core. Your financial situation is your in minus your out equals. It's not a sum, it's not the number in your bank account. It's an equation, which is the in minus the out equals. And all in, even a full-time secured job or career, is a gamble. The only difference is when you gamble on the poker machine or on the horses, you got much worse odds than when you gamble for your income from an employee or employer. So you never control the in. Your whole financial situation is in minus out equals, and you can only control the out. So if you want to actually have financial stability over the long term, because you don't know if there's going to be a Great Depression, if your wages are going to be dropped, if the minimum wage will be cut, if there's going to be crazy inflation, so you won't be able to afford what you're currently spending. All of these different things can come in the external world, can change at a drop of a hat, and you have no control over that. You could lose your job, business could go under, whatever. So if you actually want financial stability, again, no matter what angle you take personally as an individual, if you have more of a focus on your out, what you're minusing from the equation and reducing that, then you actually have more long-term financial stability. So if you increase it's all gambling, right? Finance is all gambling at the end of the day. If you increase your income and you have a focus on the income, that's high risk, high reward. Okay? So if you've got more high risk tolerance, you want to throw more into a gamble and have more chance to lose, then focus more on the income. Because the external world fluctuates a lot more than your personal spending choices. Okay. And if you want to have low risk, long-term financial stability, all right, and returns, then you want to have more of a focus on the out. Okay? So if you're more long-term thinking, planning long-term, you want to focus more on the out. If you just have more of a, risk-taking attitude and you just want to make those wins now, then focus on getting the good wins, the big ins, big incomes, good jobs, etc., etc. And if you just want to ride both waves. But again, you do you, it's up to you as an individual. But if you always remember to have focus on the out, okay, that which you control, no matter what, then even if you are riding both waves, okay, whatever you're doing in your situation, which I actually plan to as well, but that's something I'm going to work on a bit once I have a little bit of savings put together, once I've started working. Okay, then I'm going to be putting into stock markets, etc., and focusing on those bigger ins, those bigger wins. But again, I'm thinking about it realistically. It's all a gamble, okay? And so I'm going to have my secure focus of long-term financial security through my focus on the outs and minimizing what I spend. And that's, again, the top 1% of people who are saving currently right now in Australia are only saving 60% or more. The average Australian who does save is only saving 10%. And in my current situation, which I could actually get, I'm still working on getting better, so I'll be able to save even more soon and have less costs. Okay, my current saving situation, I can save 91% of my income. So I'm in the top 99.999999999% of people saving in this country. Well, when it comes to the potential to save a percentage of your income, I'm right up there in the top of maybe even top. I have not heard of anyone personally in my life. There probably is somebody out there who's smart enough to be doing it, okay? But I have not personally met or heard of anyone who can save as much income as I can. So I don't know anyone who will be able to save up and make as much money as fast as I will be able to make as much money when I decide to start working. So I'll be able to retire really fast. I don't have to work for long. I'll just do a little bit of work for a decade or two, and then I'll retire and have everything I need and more. So that's a little bit about my financial plan. Got any questions? Drop them down in the comments and take it easy.